pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
I like it.
That's sweet, man. Pretty
We're going
awesome.
live right now.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, snazzy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our last draft show before the live shows. Jamie, Craig, I'm here. We're all here to do this mock draft. We're going to go 7 rounds, no trades. We're just going to go all straight up. You appreciate the props on the intro. Just putting something together, trying it out before we go live for our draft show. But Craig's here, Jamie's here. Welcome, fellas. Thanks for coming on and joining us again.
For sure,
Good
man.
to be here.
Good. All right. So we didn't really talk about it beforehand. Are we? And Sam's going to ask. Are we you guys or are we Tom Telesco during this draft? We're playing ourselves, correct?
I say we do 2. I say we do one that's us and one that's either just straight up TT or worst case TT. And just see how it goes.
We want to subject ourselves to that
think?
type of pain. The prospects of that are agonizing, but I'll play along. Yeah, I'm a team player. So.
Okay, well then, do you want to do it as we're? What's up, Sean? Do you want to do it as we're going along, or do you want to do a completely clean slate and then move on from there?
Let's do one that's us, and then do a clean slate, and do that a clean slate one with TT. 2 separate ones.
Okay, all right, that's what we'll do. Okay, well, we got the PFF board up here. Do you guys want to talk about your kind of? I did a podcast this week on Monday about what my draft plan would be. You guys got an idea how you guys want to start attacking this board before we start?
What you think, Jamie?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think obviously I'm going in looking for a wide receiver early. I think the two positions that I'm looking at the most closely, depending on how the board falls, are wide receiver and edge, because I think those are the 2 positions that are the most thin in terms of how things fall off after the first round. So if the first 4 wide receivers are off the board, I'm probably looking edge, but the goal is to wind up with one of the first 4 wide receivers, ideally, in my book, either Jordan Addison or Zay Flowers. And obviously I would have no problem with drafting JSN if he falls. Quentin Johnson would be a distant 4th, but I'd get it and I wouldn't have a huge problem with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of along the same lines as Jamie. Definitely want to attack the wide receiver position with one of the top guys. You guys know I'm a Zay guy, so that would be the dream. Addison would be fine with me as well. If we're talking guys falling down the board or wide receivers going early or some sort of run starts in that regard, and even on the edge side of things, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a corner if they fell a little further than what would be expected. So either of the 3 is fine, but I definitely want to knock that wide receiver out. Situation out as early as possible.
Yeah, I'd be open to corner. I think for me, corner is more of a trade down scenario, unless somehow all 3 of the top guys are still on the board at corner and all of the top 4 edges are gone at that point. Then I'm looking at corner, but otherwise I'm looking to trade down and add picks.
Yeah, I'm with you. So obviously we're team trade down. I think universally we all agree on that, but we're just gonna go straight up today and draft as if we're not trading down or trading up here. We're just going to go as they come to us. So this is going to go fast. Let's go ahead and start. So Bryce Young went first. Anthony Richardson was the second quarterback. Will Anderson, Stroud. So 3 quarterbacks in the top 4. Witherspoon, Levi's went the Raiders. Boy, I hope that happens in real life, man.
Yes,
I am
me
praying
too.
for that marriage. All right, a lot of the edge is gone. Christian Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr. So all the top 3 corners are gone. Bijan goes to the Lions at 18. Michael Mayer goes. So here we go. On the board here for their best case is Dalton Kincaid, Kalijah Cansey, Brian Branch, and Deontay Banks. So let's check out wide receivers because we're talking wide receivers. So Zay's there. Quentin Johnson's there. Jordan Addison is there. In terms of edge, Will McDonald, Eneduke Uzama, Tuli's there, Atabare. So I would say, any other positions you guys want me to check out here?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I guess we could look at tight end if people want to look at that, but I'm not really looking at tight end here.
Yeah, Dalton Kincaid still on the board, Darnell Washington and Sam Laporta, our guy who we like a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we're saying, so I agree. I think getting wide receiver early is nice. Brian Branch falling here would be real nice, especially if you could trade down and then start to add some other weapons later. But we're going straight up. I don't think you can afford going even as good as Brian Branch is. I don't think you can afford taking a safety here and having to make up, because you got to make up a ton of ground later on. So I'm with you guys on wide receiver. Go ahead.
Although Jamie. I do think we should point out that based on a couple of the top corners being there and Branch being there, based on what we've heard about the team, potentially talking about trade down scenarios, this could be a scenario where we see them trade down. You've got 3 of the top 4 wide receivers still on the board, Branch and Banks on the board. You could see Minnesota or somebody else moving up for a corner here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm terrified about trading down, even though I really would like the opportunity at doing it, because of course it's not something we're accustomed to, but just all this talk now about the Chiefs really liking Zay, it feels like trading back makes it even easier for them to come up and get him if they decide to trade up. And if you shorten that distance and the Chiefs somehow ended up with Zay Flowers,
Yeah.
we might lose Craig.
I'm doing my best to hold it together right now. Just the prospects of that are really hurting me. I feel this little twinge in my chest, and it's too early for heart palpitations. So, yeah, I don't know. But for me, it has to be wide receiver to me at this point.
Yeah. And for what Jamie's alluding to, Minnesota's already kind of reached out and kind of tested the waters with the Chargers about trading up and getting ahead of Baltimore and grabbing one of these wide receivers cornerbacks or safeties. Or maybe even there's been rumors about them really liking Hooker too. Hendon Hooker, who's available. So trading back 2 spots wouldn't be too bad. Then you wouldn't have to worry so much about Casey and Zay Flowers. And I think if you're trading back 2 spots, you're guaranteed to have, Addison or Flowers at that point. If
trading back 2 spots doesn't hurt you too much.
Yeah, not too far back. Definitely
you might
not.
still have both of them there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a perfect spot. Okay, well, I think everybody knows where we're going to go, right? There's no real discussion here. It's Zay Flowers.
Been on this train for a year and a half. Why stop now?
He's our highest rated wide receiver and the highest rated player on the board at this point, I think. So
still left, yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, yeah. We could have had a discussion if JSN was still there, and I would have maybe advocated for that and probably lost the 2 of you taking Zay. But yeah, Zay Flowers it is. They need it, and they got their speed option. Going to be a real. Oh man, damn it! I like to wait on tight end, but boy. Sam Laporta sitting right there for us.
This is how I've envisioned it happening in my mind.
Woo, man, we're manifesting Sam Laporta. Yeah, so in my I go wide receiver first. I would like to go wide receiver first, just because I feel like once you get to round 2, which we're here now, having a line with a Nathaniel Dell, a Cedric Tillman, Rashee Rice, I mean that's a pretty far drop off. Josh Downs went 1 pick before the Chargers at 53. The
only one there I would be interested in is Mims.
Yeah,
that's about it.
But the fall off between like Flowers and then to Mims, I think is a pretty far drop off, and I think at edge there is still some depth there, and so I like to attack the edge in round 2, but now that I'm looking, a lot of the guys, Keon White's been here before, BJ Ojolari's been here before, but right now it's just Thule, Herberg, and Foskey, and at this point, I think you could probably wait.
Yeah, Derek Hall's probably a good
Derek Hall would be
idea there.
Yeah. But
But you
you
can
know,
probably wait there.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right now, looking at the cluster they've got now, getting Hall or Foskey, KJ Henry even in the third makes a ton of sense. I don't think Tula
Even Byron
Yeah,
Young, Carl
McGuire's
Brooks.
there. He's one
Carl
of my.
Brooks would give them some options. Sorry, Craig, I didn't mean to talk
No,
over
that's
you.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
McGuire was my sleeper, I believe. So he's sitting there too. He might be there in a round or two.
Yeah. Here, real quick, Story wants to know, is Zay Flowers, the Lightning Round podcast, does he get the seal of approval? I think he's the guy, isn't he?
I think he's the
stamp on
guy.
him.
Yeah. I think even though I think we all have JSN ranked higher, nobody makes a bigger impact to this offense in which they need this explosiveness than Zay Flowers. So yes, Zay Flowers is the guy this year. Zay Flowers gets the Lightning Round podcast seal of approval. All right, so we all agree there's a pretty good cluster of edge that you could wait on, and we think we can get one in round 3. Though we see Sam Laporta there, let's just kind of look around and see what else we got. Corners, Tyreek Stevenson's there. I like Clark Phillips and DJ Turner a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two. I wouldn't say I like it more than Sam Laporta at that spot. Running backs, A-Chain's there. There's Craig's number 2 ranked running back,
Mr. Spears.
Uh-huh. Love him.
There's so much depth at running back that I feel like taking one here is kind of silly.
Yeah, we're just looking.
Yeah, I know.
Showing the board.
I'm just thinking out
Window
loud.
shopping. Window shopping.
This is the cluster of linebackers I like at the top of day 3. This Overshown, Williams, Pace. Henley's not going to be there, but Toa.
He should be.
He should be, but he won't be.
No objection from me there.
What else we got? Interior, Benton's still available. Ika. He might be in our next draft round, but we're not looking there. And
what about safety?
Okay. Safety, Antonio Johnson, Sidney Brown, Jordan Battle.
I know
all good
Sidney
options.
Brown. Yeah, Sidney Brown is a Charger Twitter darling.
I feel like it's still too early for those guys, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like personally they don't want to have to go the younger route. They probably want a vet back there to help man the deep part of the field. So I don't know if mixing in what you already have in what's his face from Baylor,
Woods.
Yeah, he's still developing. I don't know if you want to get 2 younger guys going into next year. I mean, I guess the idea is that Woods makes a jump, but I think you mentioned it on your pod, Garrett, that the ideal situation would be to wait and get John Johnson there after the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think if you're going to take a safety, you're taking like a more of a defensive back than a cornerback, somebody who can play kind of all over.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they might like somebody like an Antonio Johnson because he plays some slot. He plays both safety positions.
This Marte Mapu is a guy that's kind of being marked as that too. Kind of a nice little versatile piece later on.
Yeah, Jair Brown would be a nice center fielder for them.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player. Do we want to look at interior offensive line in this spot just to see what's hanging around?
Sure,
I don't really think there's anybody that we want to take in the second round, but it doesn't hurt to look.
Yeah. All right. So just for tackle, oh man, wow, that fell off fast. Okay. Yeah.
There's my sleepers there though.
Don't worry about it. In the second?
Not in the second. I'm just saying he's still hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't take him now.
Yeah. There's still some guys left. Tipman's still there. Whippler's there. Voorhees is there. Man, PFS got Whippler high. I haven't seen him that high. I like him, but there's Scruggs still available. Maffey, Patterson, Stromberg.
Yeah, those are some names that'll probably still be around in the 4th.
Yep.
I like the 5th round for those centers, these interior guys. Okay, so I would say, Sam Laporta jumped out at me right away. If I could make an argument or could see a case for DJ Turner or Clark Phillips, I think Clark Phillips would be a nice little replacement in the slot. But I just this getting Sam Laporta here in this tier. This is still part of the tight end ones.
Or if you're thinking about, I'm sorry, Garrett.
Go ahead.
Even if you're thinking about moving forward with your corners and where Michael Davis falls after this year, Julius Brents is probably an option there as well. If you're looking for a potential replacement, another bigger corner that can play on the outside that isn't afraid to mix it up in the run game. So wouldn't be super shocked if they considered that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess let's throw a hypothetical out there, or a question. Is it more important to find a tight end here, or can we find value in maybe double dipping at wide receiver? Just throwing it out there.
In the first 2 rounds.
Back to back?
Not ideal. Not something that I'd be like in a rush to do. But a guy like Mims in the second round, adding his playmaking ability, there's some value there in terms of adding speed and explosiveness to the offense.
If you're looking at wide receiver types, I'm just talking about skill sets. It's interesting if you take it from a perspective of kind of getting guys to mix and match within the offense, because at that point, I really like Cedric Tillman as a bigger body, pretty good at route running. He's got really strong hands. Depending on what happens in your Keenan and Mike situation going in the next season as well. So, you'd have options there. And if you circle back after getting Zay in the first and a guy like Tillman in the second, then you can kind of mix them in with Palmer and whoever else you round out the roster with going into 24, and you're looking pretty nice. You can definitely work different levels of the field with different options and skill sets. So I wouldn't totally be opposed to it, but I probably wouldn't go wide receiver in the second, not back to back.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think they need to double dip in this draft. I just wanted to throw it out there as a discussion point.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Sam, Jalen Hyatt went pick 48 to the Lions. Now, let me throw another hypothetical at you, because I feel in terms of this corner class, there is a pretty strong middle. I like the top 3. There's a pretty strong middle, and then there's a pretty big fall off. Would you guys like the value of taking a DJ Turner, Craig mentioned Brents, and even Clark Phillips, and then grabbing a tight end in the next round, knowing that there's so much depth from Kraft to Kuntz there? There's 4 or 5 tight ends, very athletic tight ends that you can get, Will Mallory too, who you can get a round later. What do you guys think about that in terms of value?
I think that's an interesting idea, just because I think there are a few positions that you can never have enough talent at, right? Wide receiver is one. I think corner is one. Edge is one. These are positions that are becoming super important in the NFL today, and they never have enough corners. And they're in a position right now where a corner is becoming kind of a transitional position, because you don't know what's going to happen with Michael Davis. Not entirely sure what's going to happen with J.C. Jackson. Are they going to pay Asante Samuel Jr.? Is Jasir Taylor going to work out? There's all kinds of questions about that group right now, and adding a high-end player to that group, I think, has a lot of value, and that group is going to fall off pretty fast here. Whereas, like you said, it's not going to fall off quite as quickly.
Tight end.
At tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's weird about it, because you see these names and guys that we're huge fans of, and you almost want to pull the trigger really quickly. But if you're looking at it from, just a strategic standpoint, you got names, and I did this just for fun, just kind of threw some names in the RAS comparison grid. And Luke Schoonmaker, who's someone that I've looked at a little bit that I like, he tested better than Travis Kelce did. He's actually a little bit more athletic. Michigan didn't utilize him as well as I think they could have, but they're kind of a run first team. In the passing game, he wasn't, deployed as well as I think that he could have been, but he's a really good run blocker, and there's potential to grow there. he could probably still be around in the third. I think he will be. So if that's someone you want to take a chance on, it's a really good idea there later on. Will Mallory was one of my sleepers. He's kind of going to be more of like your budget Dalton Kincaid, even down to the fact that I think he'll be 24 this year too. So you can get him later on, but there's absolutely value to be had there. So if they went corner in round 2, I think it makes perfect sense. We all know Brandon Staley's affinity for secondary guys anyway. And it seems like with the Chargers, if they lose one piece in the secondary, particularly at corner, everything goes to hell. So I'd be down with the corner in the second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we threw a couple different scenarios there. Where do you guys want to go?
Oh, God, Sam, I love you.
I think I just changed my mind. I was all in on Sam, and now I'm thinking corner.
Mm-hmm. I would love Sam, but you guys kind of talked me into it also. Just from a team building perspective and just looking at the value at the tight end position, you probably should go corner.
So here's the other thing. We had talked about edge having a group of guys that we thought would fall in the third too. So if we wait on some of these other guys, we're going to be neglecting another group.
Yeah, but I still think there are going to be some decent edges, at least developmental guys available in the 4th round. Yeah. So even if we don't get one in the 3rd, I think there's an opportunity to get one in the next 2 rounds.
And I have my eyes on McGuire and Young in the next round, or going into the 4th.
Yep. KJ Henry was my sleeper. I could see them. Colby Wooden was an interesting watch. Carl Brooks is a guy. Carl Brooks is kind of like budget Tyrell Wilson or Tyree Wilson. Mm-hmm. He's got a very similar build. He's tall. He's like 6'6". He's long. Plays multiple positions on the line. He's a guy I could see them loving from a traits perspective and thinking they could develop. And he's going to be around for a while too.
Okay. All right. Okay, so where are we going? Did you guys talk yourself out of Sam Laporta in the 2nd?
I think that just happened.
I'm surprised by that. This is your tight end too.
He is.
Here's the flip side. He's the highest player on our board right now, the highest rated player on all of our boards right now. He was not all that far behind Kincaid, and he was ranked ahead of Mayer, I think, by all of us.
But where's the drop off in corner after this round, we thinking?
I mean, quite honestly, once you get past Hodges Tomlinson, who I'm not a huge fan of, but these top 4, he's
gonna be a slot guy.
You're throwing darts after that.
I could see them loving Riley Moss.
Yeah,
I could see them liking Jartavius Martin because of the ball skills.
Do you hope that a Phillips or a Brents is available in round 3? This is what we all got to weigh here.
This is where it gets tricky again, because you take the risk here of missing out on corner, and then we get into the next round, and then it's like you said, it's a dart throw where we know that there's still going to be some adequate tight end depth and talent available in the next round. So it's just kind of pick your poison here, because yes, I would love to have Sam Laporta, and if we're going BPA and just following the board, then the pick's Laporta, and you just have to figure it out in the secondary. Taking a little bit of a risk there, especially with what you have coming back this year, like we mentioned, not knowing what JC is going to be, and have to prepare for life potentially without a couple of guys in the secondary moving forward. So this is a rough one.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go first then, and I'll let you know. Even though I threw out the cornerback idea, I would go Sam Laporta here. I know that the cornerback group, that whole room's in flux right now, but they've got their starters in place. JC Jackson's supposed to be ready about training camp. They've got Jasir Taylor as a 4th corner. They drafted Dean Leonard last year. They brought back Kamon Hall. There's some depth there. And I know that there's going to be a transition period. I'm not ready to go there quite yet. I think tight end is such a big need, and Sam Laporta is such the better player here, I would rank Laporta over Turner or Phillips, and I would go BPA, line it up with one of the Chargers' biggest needs. I would take Sam Laporta.
Jamie, what you got?
I'm having a hard time with this one because I really like Laporta.
Yeah.
And we've been saying all along that this is the get Herbert weapons draft. And here is one of the better weapons in the draft class. And starting off with Flowers and Laporta is a pretty big win. Let's go with the weapon.
Yes, let's do it. Sam Laporta.
Push the chips in, man. He was my tight end too, so I'm not gonna fight you guys on that.
All right, let's do it. Sam Laporta it is. We're going BPA here. Getting Herbert weapons, man. I did not we audibly were like, "Oh my god," once I saw him, or I did at least.
Get to the point of overthinking it.
Yep.
You know.
And I don't want to overthink it. If they come away with Zay Flowers and Sam Laporta in the first 2 days, they can punt the rest of the 5 rounds as far as
I'll be double fisting it.
Yeah.
Liquor.
All right. So we talked about corner. So Hodges Tomlinson's still there. So let's just check out corner. So DJ Turner went. Oh, look at Mims went right before the Chargers pick. Overshown just went too. Yeah, I know. I wanted that linebacker group. So here's the fall off at corner. It's happened. Edge. Which is
there we go.
Position.
Bam.
So there's McGuire.
Both of them.
All 4 of those guys that we talked about are there.
Henry. Yep. We were talking about linebacker. And there's Dorian Williams. Okay. And then we were talking, let's see. We did edge. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Let's go interior defensive line. Still probably too early for that.
Yep.
So we got our wide receiver, got our tight end, interior offensive line. Zavala still there. Voorhees. I think it's probably too early for any of these guys. Zavala could make some sense, but I'm not.
I don't think I'm at a spot to draft an offensive lineman yet.
Me neither.
Push that.
Look at tackle real quick. I'm just curious.
Okay. Jordan Battle's still there and Anthony Johnson for safeties. And you want to go tackles? Steen and Freeland. Man, it hasn't moved. It was Steen and Freeland in the second round.
And Wanya Morris. I think we can still wait.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay. So it sounds like.
Should we look at running back?
Uh-oh.
Just for fun. Oh, no. Craig! Spears is still there.
Why would you do that, Jamie?
Oh no!
We talked about getting Herbert weapons.
We're not doing it. Look, there's a limit to this, okay? I understand. We want to be logical. Yes, would that be awesome? It would be, but we're not doing that. No, I'm not gonna let my heart lead me on this one. No.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're the one saying no.
Craig is officially no fun.
All right. So, all right. Fine. We bring Craig on. He's got to be the.
He is resolute.
I'm staunch on this one. That's not coming back to bite me.
He's got to be the adult on this podcast.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie and I are getting out of hand.
I'll take the heat.
So if we're thinking slot corner, Hodges Tomlinson is an option here. But it sounds like edge is where you guys are thinking. McGuire, Brooks is still there. Henry. Man, Wooden's still there. Yasir Abdullah. Okay.
I think this is a good spot to get edge because I think all 4 of these guys can come in and contribute as edge 3 right away. and at least push for edge 3
Chris Rumpf.
and get reps. At least push Chris Rumpf. So, and all these guys offer something that they need, and they're not going to be around much longer. All these guys are probably going to come off the board in the next 10 or 15 picks. So, not that you want to draft because you're afraid of losing somebody, but I think all these guys offer a value here that it's really hard to pass on, and it's going to start getting thin really fast. So I'm in favor of going edge, even though corner is getting thin. I think the best way to help the secondary right now is to add to the edge group.
And we all know what happens if either Bosa or Matt go down. So we don't have to deal with another repeat situation there where you're depending on Chris Rumpf to create pressure. And whoever's playing the opposite of him is getting a ton of attention. So I don't think you want to be all that risky here.
Okay. I'm just looking at our grades here. Okay. Yeah, that pretty much lines up. Just looking at our McGuire. Where is McGuire? Anyway, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, so you guys are thinking Isaiah McGuire? Is that the way to go?
Well, and you know what, Jamie, I'll ask you this because I know that I think you reviewed Young. I think you looked into him a little bit more deeply than either me and Garrett did, maybe. But when we're talking about skill set, I know that McGuire is a guy that, can reduce down inside on obvious passing situations. Young's a athletic freak, somebody that you can not only deploy from the edge as a pass rusher, but he can drop out in the coverage. What skill set would you be looking more for in a situation like this?
I think I'm looking for somebody who's going to stand up and rush the passer. I wouldn't hate getting somebody who can reduce inside, but I'm looking to add some athleticism to the edge when Bosa and Mac are off the field. Somebody who can set the edge.
I think there was something. What was going on with, you know what? There it is. I think it just popped up in the chat. Is that Guillermo? Did he mention it? I think Byron Young is 24, 25 years old.
He is older. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's been playing college football for 5 years. So Henry is a guy who sets the edge really well. He's physical. He's just tenacious on the edge, plays really, really hard. He's a little undersized right now, but I think there's room for him to pack on some weight. And he flashes some pretty good counters. They're not consistent, but I think the hands are there. And I think you can develop the counters and teach him to be more efficient off the edge. So Henry's a guy that I really like. Brooks is a guy who I think is going to play inside and outside. And he's long and he has a really good bull rush and he finishes when he gets home. So I think any one of those guys would be really good. Young, maybe you wait a little bit longer on him just because he's older.
Young, not so young.
Yeah, and you take the younger developmental guy instead of the older developmental guy. Maybe sacrifice some athleticism for having them around a little bit longer and developing them. Not that Henry's a bad athlete, but he's not Byron Young.
Okay, so which one are you guys feeling? We got to go with one. Or are you thinking a different position?
I didn't watch McGuire. So Craig, how is McGuire as an edge setter?
So that's one of his strengths. His size profile is great. That's what actually helps him in being able to kick inside. He can do a little bit of everything. He's not super explosive off the edge, so you're sacrificing a little bit in regards to athleticism. But when you think about having someone that you can kick inside on obvious passing downs, you can get a little bit more multiple that way, have a little bit more athleticism over the guards, but someone who can also still push the pocket inside because of their size. I think he's just a little bit more, offers more in regards to versatility. So as an edge setter, I like him. As a pass rusher, he's good. He's got some development to do with his array of pass rushing moves. But I just like the versatility and the fact that he can give you a little bit of everything. So for me, I would lean a little bit more McGuire. But if you're really going to focus on just someone who can destroy an edge, keep an offensive tackle on their heels, running the arc, getting flat down the line of scrimmage with a little bit more athleticism, then McGuire's probably not that guy.
So I think you're the only one who watched McGuire.
Mm.
You had a 70 on him, so this is about the right range for him.
I had a 73 on Henry.
Yeah.
And I think Brooks was in the 60s.
I watched a little bit of Henry. There's also a lot of potential there to grow with. So I think he's only just kind of scratching the surface, where McGuire is pretty much, I'm not going to say tapped out. He just has some technical refinement issues. He can be dominant at the next level if he works on the technique, gets better hand usage. He'll be better at setting the edge against the run. I don't know that he'll ever be a top level pass rusher though. So if there's a guy there that has the ability to kind of elevate his game to be more of a pass rusher off the edge, then I mean, I'd be fine with that. McGuire just feels safer to me.
Okay.
What do you
But
think?
I'm going to
Garrett?
go with athleticism over like right now. That's kind of been my whole thing for this draft. I want size and athleticism. Those are my two sticking points.
Yeah. So
I would go with Henry.
Would you take Henry? Would you take Henry here, or would you wait on him?
I think this is the spot. I had a 73 on him. So mid to late third round. This is I think the right value for him. I don't think you're reaching at all.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll go with you guys.
Was there somebody else you want to talk about?
No, I'm tempted on taking Carl Brooks, but I have him as a top of 4, so this would be a little early, but not that early. But I like the idea of having your Morgan Fox replacement as a guy that can play outside and in, kind of being a versatile end and an interior guy, and I think Brooks can be that. And he's really long, which I like. So I think if you're thinking replacing Morgan Fox in a year or two, Carl Brooks makes some sense. But I think you got to think about edge, and you don't. Khalil Mack's probably not here much longer. Bosa's been injured, and we'll see how long he'll last. But they got to go edge. So I think KJ Henry is probably the best bet here. Though there's some guys, Andre Carter, Colby Wooden, and Yasir Abdullah that I watched that I wouldn't mind having a round later. But let's just attack it now. Are you good with KJ, Craig?
Oh yeah, I think you're betting on the traits and athleticism here. So yeah, like I said, I'm fine with that.
Cool. All right, let's do KJ. And there we go. This is kind of how I had the first 3 rounds matched up, kind of lined up, having a wide receiver, tight end, and getting that edge sometime in day 2.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Something I like already.
Mm-hmm. You see Dorian Williams too?
I do.
Top of day 3 is when you get your athletic linebackers, and it's going to be, yep, this is your range. So Overshown was gone. We talked about that. Toa's gone too, but man, Dorian Williams.
The other guy in this group, and he's a little on the small side, but he offers a lot in terms of pass rush, is Ivan Pace Jr. He's kind of a hybrid middle linebacker edge. You can move him around. He's really good in the gaps, really good pass rusher. He's not particularly long, which could give him issues rushing at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for versatility and you still want to add something to the pass rush and maybe get somebody who's developmental and can cover a little bit at linebacker, then Pace wouldn't be a bad option either.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tad early based on how I graded him.
Mm-hmm.
But you're in the 4th round. At this point, you're betting on – it's kind of like what they did with Woods last year. You're betting on traits. You're betting on, the ability to make plays and hoping it translates at the next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's part of my group in round 4. Ivan Pace Jr. and Dorian Williams with Overshown and Toa, but those 2 are gone. Let's just look at some of the groups. So corner was something we were looking at. Eli Ricks is still there. Interesting.
Thomas is a guy that's had a lot of hype during the draft process.
Yeah. Yeah, he has.
Wasn't he one of the guys that the team liked?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think he was part of that list. I'll pull up the list, but
Let's look at safety. Ooh. So there's
I see what you see.
Christopher Smith. So Christopher Smith and Brandon Joseph are two guys who I think make a lot of sense right now. And if I was going to pick between the two of them, I would pick Christopher Smith in a heartbeat. That to me, I have an 80 on Christopher Smith. So I have a late second round grade on him. He's in the 4th round. He's a guy who has ridiculous instincts. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He knows where the ball is going before the ball comes out. Great ball skills. He tackles, hits like a freight train. He does everything well. The knock on him is that he's not the best of athletes at the position, but he's so instinctive that he gets to where he needs to be and he makes up for it. So he's kind of, and I hate to draw this conclusion because it's going to turn everybody off, but he's kind of like what Manti Te'o was when they drafted him, in terms of you're relying on the instincts instead of the athleticism to get you there. But Smith in my opinion, is a better football player than Te'o was when he came out.
Yeah, definitely better instinctually. And this just feels like something Brandon Staley would be all over. I mean, especially because he's a Georgia guy as well. So, well, here's a question. If you went Smith here, would that take John Johnson off of the radar? Would you be looking for Smith to come in and contribute right away?
I would be looking at it more as it gives you more time with Woods if you bring in John Johnson. I think Smith is more ready to play, and you're hoping to develop Woods so that he and Smith and Derwin can be on the field together in some
DB package.
DB package. So Smith, I think, plays right away. Woods, I think you can sprinkle in if you sign Woods or if you sign Johnson and you draft Smith here. I think it gives you a lot of options with Woods, and I think he's still going to need time. I mean, we haven't seen him play for a year, but his tackling was so bad and he's not that instinctive. So I can't imagine he's going to be ready to step in and play right away this year.
And to answer your question, the corners that they were interested in were Deontay Banks, Jacorian Bennett, Sidney Brown, and DJ Turner.
Let's look at wide receiver real quick, because this is the time where you're starting to look to double dip.
Hey, Boutte.
And that is a hard pass.
Yeah.
Running back, we got Chase Brown, Deuce Vaughn. Yeah.
A bunch. All of our sleepers are still there.
Yeah.
Not yours, though, right? You're Garrett. I called
Sean
you Derek,
Tucker.
man.
Yeah.
God damn it. Garrett.
God. Everybody stopped calling me Derek for like weeks. And now
Sorry.
Here we are. I'm going to hear it for the next month.
Your guy's gone.
No, Sean Tucker. He's right there.
Oh, I thought Rashawn Johnson was your guy.
He wasn't my sleeper, but I liked him a lot.
Okay. So all of our sleepers are there. Basically one after another.
I love this cluster right here. Tucker, Mitchell, Gray. This is really good group of guys.
So this could be a good spot for running back, although I think there's still enough guys sitting around that maybe you can wait another round.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
there's some value here in interior defensive linemen too, with Turner, Ajomo, Coburn, Martin Clark. Yeah, you might be able to wait another round, but this is a pretty good 5 here to help stop the run.
That's my guy, Jared Clark.
Yep. Couple big uglies.
I feel like this is the round where you have to do something with the secondary, whether it's corner or safety. I feel like if you wait much longer, you're going to lose it.
Okay, well, let's just look at interior offensive line because we've been just keeping an eye on it. So Voorhees is still there. Scruggs, Gaines, Maffey, Patterson. Okay.
I think we can still wait.
Yeah, you can wait that out.
Definitely can still wait. All right.
Look at tackle real quick too.
It's gone, man. Just leave it alone. It was gone after the second round, and there's nothing left to it.
All right, move on.
It's weak, man. I I like Christopher Smith. I think I've got him ranked higher than Dorian Williams, but I think linebacker is a bigger need, and it's Dorian Williams for me, and this is just what I would do. It's Dorian Williams, Ivan Pace, and then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't like Sewell or anybody else after that, really. So for me, I'm going Dorian Williams, hoping to grab a corner safety coming up here in the next pick or two. I just think the athleticism and you betting on the upside here. I would love a guy that can come downhill and add some athletes to the second level with Dorian Williams. So that's where I would go. While I get to pick with Christopher Smith, and I would not be mad at it at all, I would go Dorian.
Did we look at receiver already?
Yeah, that was the Boutte.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was the Boutte.
It was completely booty.
Yep. Okay, so Jamie, are you going Christopher Smith here?
Yeah, I think I'm going value, and I'm going based on my draft board in the 4th round. And if I've got somebody with an 80 rated over somebody in the low 70s, then I'm taking the guy with 80. So yeah, I think I'm going with Christopher Smith.
Oh, you know what? Jamie, you and I have an 80 on Christopher Smith. Craig has an 81. So we all are in the same range.
Yep. I don't see how. I know linebacker is a need. I have a feeling those guys might still hang around for a little while. So I would go with the better player personally.
Okay.
The higher rated player.
I absolutely hear you. Craig, you got to break this tie.
So thought about it both ways. Where Smith is concerned, I get the immediate value and his contribution sooner. Williams makes sense, but I mean, if we're going to keep talking about how they value linebackers or how little they value linebackers, then if it's a toss-up between the two, if I'm thinking of it as if, just what I would do personally, but also if I'm thinking of it like Staley, I'm probably going with the secondary guy. So mark me down for Smith. I'm sorry. Yeah, Smith.
Yeah, Smith.
Okay. Yeah. I would have gone a different direction, but I absolutely get it. We all have him ranked as a 2nd round player. We got him in the 4th. So that's a pretty, oh man. And there's Ivan Pace Jr. Well, I guess that all worked out, huh? I also, just to the chat, Stebbins wants us to watch Cropper, and Stanley wants us to watch Charlie Jones. And I don't know why those two want to keep making that a thing, but
we're done.
We're done, man. We got a draft guide already printed and out. We're done.
Wrap that up.
Done. Yeah.
No more film.
Now listen, if they pick them, we'll watch them. That's how we'll go. All right. So we talked about Ivan Pace Jr. So I think that makes a ton of sense here. Wide receiver, there's Cropper, of course. My sleeper BFW.
My sleeper's already gone. Look at running back.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was going to look at running back. And there's our kind of cluster of guys. Interior offensive line. Yep, this is where it's starting to go. Where did Stromberg go already? I thought he was below Mafi. Huh. Anyway, okay. We don't need to look at tackle, Jamie. I'm not doing it. Let's just look at it. Let's look at edge and just see where. Okay, yeah, everybody's gone. I like Jose Ramirez.
Ramirez is still there.
Yeah, he's my sleeper, but
Ramirez turned Garrett on, so
easy. Easy.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Hey, you said it, not me.
All right, but I corrected it very quickly. All right, so I think right now we're probably between. Let's just see where the safeties land. Nobody's really moved. Anthony Johnson's still there. Hickman and Joseph. Okay. So it seems to me it's between, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ivan Pace Jr. here at linebacker or grabbing one of these 3 running backs, Deuce Vaughn, Sean Tucker, Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at right now.
I fought for Dorian last round. I will say that Ivan Pace Jr. is there, and he's the last of it. And I'm hoping one of those three fall next round. And I'm going linebacker here.
I'm on board.
Let's do it.
Same. Okay. Cool. Ivan Pace Jr. it is. It's perfect. Man.
Now I think we go hunting for an interior offensive lineman or a defensive tackle.
Good.
Woo! There's Keaton Mitchell.
Yes.
Okay. So running back, Keaton Mitchell's there. Okay. Interior defensive line. Gerard Clark's there. Oh boy. Oh man.
Yay.
There's okay. What else were we looking at? Interior offensive line.
Yep.
Mafi went already, right?
Nope, he's right there.
Okay.
So this is very interesting here. Basically, in other rounds, we were able to wait on some guys, and now we can't. Because if you don't grab Keaton Mitchell, he's gone. If you don't grab Gerard Clark, he's going to be gone. If you don't grab a guy like Mafi here, he's probably gone. They're basically at the top of each board. They're the next best players available.
I feel like this has to be a trench pick. You just start building out some of these developmental guys that can be quality players if they have to see some of the field earlier, particularly on the inside. So for me, it would have to be either a guard or an interior defensive line pick. As much as Keaton being a home run hitter is enticing there, I mean, I'm not sure what he does for you this year in their running back room.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is assuming that Eckler is going to be back, and I think that he will be. So this just feels like the appropriate pick is going to be a trench guy.
I'm leaning towards Mafi here, to be honest with you. I think the state of the interior offensive line once you get past the starters is not great. There's basically no depth there. We don't know what to expect from Hymas, and there's not much behind him. So, and we know the team likes Mafi. So I would say if you're going to take somebody, you take the offensive lineman who maybe has a chance to compete for a starting job in a couple of years. If maybe move him to center, maybe move Zion to center and put Mafi at left guard. I mean, there's options there. Salyer could play center. But it would really give you a very inexpensive offensive line core for the next few years, which they're going to need because they just paid Pipkins. They're going to have to pay Slater soon, and they're going to have to pay Herbert soon. So you got to get inexpensive somewhere, and I think interior offensive line is the place to do it right now.
If we're going off our draft guide, which, of course, you can get if you're part of the Lightning Round Patreon, Gerard Clark, who I watched and Craig watched, we are at 67 for Gerard Clark. And for Mafi, Jamie had a 67. Craig had a 69. I had a 60. So it seems like Mafi is the higher rated, even though I dragged down the average with Mafi. Yeah. But I agree. I think an interior offensive lineman does the Chargers better than an interior defensive lineman at this point, and Mafi's just a bruiser and a guy that I think could probably play all three interior spots, and they need depth there.
And he's one of their guys also, right? I mean, they've, I guess, reportedly been keeping eyes on him since
for years.
UCLA, yeah. So this just lines up perfectly. They wouldn't pass that up.
It's that same story with Bosa, where they were saying we've been watching him since forever. Yeah. We've been tracking him for years, and then they end up picking him. This is Mafi for sure. Okay. All right. I like Keaton. I like Gerard Clark, Mafi, all good choices there. But it's going to be Antonio Mafi, who doesn't have an N in Antonio, which made it real hard to get used to. Oh, here we go. Cropper's available. We're never going to get the end of this garbage.
Didn't watch him. Sorry.
And honestly, I'm not throwing them a pity pick here. That ain't happening. I don't care what the chat says.
Let's look at wide receiver just to see what's there.
Yeah.
Other than Cropper, because we're not picking him.
I'm about to make you suffer, Stebbins.
Just to spite Stebbins, we're not going to pick
So
Darius Davis. Interesting.
Who?
Darius Davis.
Oh yeah, that's okay. So that's what I was going to say. So in that little perfect mock that I put together, I put a wide receiver, and it's basically at the end of this draft, there are a group of like 4 to 5 absolute burners that ran the best 40s. They're on top of the RAS scores. One of them was my sleeper, BFW. Darius Davis is in that group, and the rest of them, Matt Landers was part of it, and there was another one, but he's gone too. So yeah, I mean, getting more speed, possible returner value here with Darius Davis, and also with a guy that can run as fast as he can. You got on the cusp of being a very good gunner on special teams, all Pro Bowl type potential with that type of speed and athleticism on the outside. So Darius Davis makes a lot of sense for me, at least. Let's go interior defensive line, because we almost did that last pick. Jonah Tavai. DJ Dale has gotten some love, but I don't know that I would go there. Okay. Running back. Keaton Mitchell's gone. Travis Dye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I think if you were to sit down and ask people in the Chargers room and the Chargers front office if they felt like running back was a need, even with what's going on with Eckler,
Mm-hmm.
I think they would probably tell you it's not, but they would consider taking Bijan if he was on the board in the first round.
Mm.
So I don't think they see running back as big of a need as most people do, because I think they still believe that Spiller is going to step in and be a bell cow, at least split carries this year and eventually be a bell cow. So I would go with the wide receiver because I think they need to add more competition to that room. I just think it makes more sense, and I think it's kind of the perfect way to cap off this draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Greg, any thoughts?
Yeah. I've been on board with double dipping at wide receiver anyway. So, I mean, just looking at the options that are there and adding, again, additional speed elements to the team just gives you the option to utilize guys, like was mentioned, as special teams contributors if they don't see the field on offense. But, you can never have enough speed, especially a team that's so deficient of it. So give me more speed, all of it.
Yep. I was going to look up Darius Davis's RAS score because if I'm not mistaken, it was pretty damn high. I can't find it. But anyway. Okay, cool. He ran a 4.36. You. That boy can, Craig, wait for it, slide.
I love it. I love it when we learn our lessons, man.
We got it. End of draft season, baby. All right. Did we check corner yet? No, let's check it. Whoops. Well, I got both. Stop it. Whew. Not a name I recognize in this group.
I'm not going to pretend that I watched any of these guys.
Yeah, this is when it gets rough.
Yeah. Nope. We got our DB and Chris Smith, so we're moving on. Jalen Moreno-Cropper might be a good player. We're not taking him. Darius Davis. We didn't watch him. Darius Davis it is.
Darius Davis it is. We are not pushing the Fresno State narrative here on the Lightning Round podcast.
Nope. Oh, Matt Landers.
Sorry, Stebbs.
2 picks before. All right, here we go. So we had Zay Flowers in the first round. We got Sam Laporta, the tight end at Iowa, in the second round. KJ Henry is our edge 3 going into 2023.
Gave that an F.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Christopher Smith, the safety out of Georgia, at the top of day 3. We got Ivan Pace Jr., which was an A+ somehow. In the 5th, we took Antonio Maffei in the 6th, and then we got some more speed. We double dipped at wide receiver, got Darius Davis at a TCU, and we are done. There we go. This is awesome. We did it.
I think it's a pretty solid draft, regardless of what they say about KJ Henry.
Yeah, who cares about their...
They screwed the overall grade with that F. That's terrible.
I don't care about that grade.
Yeah.
I told you, Zay Flowers, Sam Laporta, you could punt the rest of those 5 picks and I'd be happy. But the fact that you can get Christopher Smith in the 4th round, And then
And they probably will punt the rest of those 5 picks. So get ready for it.
Starting right there in the third. You're right.
Yep. Okay. All right. So you guys want to do Telesco now?
Yeah, let's do Telesco.
Oh, God.
damn.
Pain.
They said Darius Davis's RAS score was 4.29. Probably size issues, I'm sure.
Did he only do
This
like
wasn't-
the 40? Yikes.
I don't know.
I thought they were saying he ran a 4.29. I was like, oh, but that's the total RAS for the overall. Ooh, okay.
No, he ran a 4.36. All right. He had bad agility testing. Oh, well, we're talking 7th round, I guess.
So
Okay.
another guy that's fast in a straight line.
What else is new?
They like those guys anyway. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect fit.
Yep. All right, here we go. And we'll go through this quicker than the other one. We just had to talk the other one out. All right, here we go. This is the Tom Telesco / worst case scenario draft. Is that what we're doing right now?
Do you want to do worst case or you just want to do straight up Tom Telesco?
Let's do both as we're going through it, not like a third draft. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right, here we go. In round 1, how are you guys feeling Tom Telesco going to go? I have a feeling it's tight end. Are you guys getting that feeling too?
So we're doing Telesco first?
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Telesco. Yeah. I think the fact that he talked about all the top wide receivers being NFL ready right now, I think they're on the hunt for a wide receiver.
Okay. Craig?
And they were last year too, right? If the right guy fell to him. So,
Yep.
I mean, 2 years in a row sounds like a trend.
Mm-hmm. So you think they're going to go wide receiver?
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance.
Okay, so if you had to pick, so Quentin Johnson's still there, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison.
Oh, it's Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
If he's on the board, he's the pick. No doubt about it.
Over Michael Mayer?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh.
They love their basketball players at wide receiver, even though he's more of a point guard than a power forward.
Now, I'm a little leery there. I don't know if you're telling me Mayer's there.
Mayer and Kincaid are on the board.
I could see Telesco pulling the trigger on one of the two, either Kincaid or Mayer, and just going the safe route. And you want the Notre Dame guy and the person who's probably going to provide you a little bit of everything, even though he isn't fantastic at any one thing. Mayer feels exactly like what Telesco would do.
Yeah, same here. Stanley brought it up. Stanley just brought it up. I was going to bring it up. But there are Jordan Addison connections with the coaching staff.
Yeah.
So
I think they'll favor the bigger receiver if they go receiver here.
Yeah.
QJ's on the board.
Right.
Even with the Addison connections.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm thinking it's Mayer.
Like Telesco just comes in and drops his nuts on the table and demands Mayer. It's like push the Mayer button. Do it.
All right. So what's your of these guys? What's your nightmare scenario here? Like realistic nightmare. Like they're not drafting a punter here, but like of the guys that have been available.
I think of the guys that are available, Mayer probably winds up being the worst pick.
Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Not that he's going to necessarily be a bad player. I don't think he's going to be a bad player. I just don't think he's going to give them what they need at tight end in terms of stretching the seam and getting downfield.
Nightmare. That's awesome.
It just works too well, which means it's bound to happen.
Nightmare. Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's just do it then. Okay.
It's too.
All right.
Is it supposed to hurt so bad so soon?
Yes.
First pick.
That's it. I would say I feel like Lucas Van Ness would really like sting.
Oh yeah.
There's been I've seen Van Ness mock to the Chargers and Brian Brzee, the Clemson kid.
Oh, those would be really bad.
Those
I didn't
two
think about those.
would sting.
Yeah, that started pretty early in the process too. I just
Yeah.
hope the way that they faded off meant that, maybe nobody cared about it anymore. But
Yeah.
we're talking
Brzee would
about
be really painful.
Yeah.
I would not. Yeah, I'd be looking for pitchforks and torches
if
they took Van Ness or Brzee.
Oh my God.
21.
Okay, so then in the second round, who do you think they're taking?
Look
I
at
know
corner.
mine.
Look at corner.
Okay. Corner. They like Tyreek, and they really like Julius Brents. Those are two guys they favored. They went to Clark Phillips Pro Day. They had a guy there to check him out.
How about edge?
So they're all options. Yeah. Thule feels like the Uchenna Nwosu. Southern Cal kid who probably should be taken in the third, but they'll take in the second. I could see that happening.
What about wide receiver?
Wide receiver. Dell, Tillman, Rice, Mims.
So Telesco is all about production, right? Isn't that what he leans on?
Yeah, you're going Rice, aren't you?
That for me, that would be very, very scary. Freddy Krueger level nightmarish. Yeah, that would hurt. And I mean, they would still use the excuse of providing Herbert weapons. It's just not the ones that he actually needs.
What about Jonathan Mingo?
That one scares me.
Yeah.
That one scares me because one, he's not very good.
Oh.
And two,
Yep.
The one thing he did a lot of in that offense is block, and they love wide receivers who block. So I could totally see that. And that would be like among the worst picks they could make in the second round, in my opinion. that first round talk for Mingo it's baffling to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not like Mingo.
Did we look at edge already? Look at edge.
Yeah, we did, but I'll bring
Did
it
we?
back up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
what about linebacker? Because I could see them going linebacker here.
No.
Yeah. I could see them taking Dion Henley.
Oh, God.
Oh man. Yeah. So who do we think they're taking? Do we think they're going to go linebacker and Henley? Do we think they're going to go Mingo, or do you think they go Thule? There's all kind of or do we take the logical approach and say they like Tyreek Stevenson, kind of a taller mold of feels like a Staley corner. They've already kind of been linked a little bit.
I can see that.
Boards. Or do we go with the more scary option of taking Henley for the fun of it? Or fun of it?
I think they take Mingo if he's on the board here. I think it'd be either Mingo or Henley is my guess.
All right. They're taking Jonathan Mingo then. We all said it. Mayor Mingo. Back to back. They got their playmakers. What do you want, Craig?
They got their weapons.
They got to get Herbert weapons. They got
actual good players. I don't know.
And here they'll take LT's nephew.
LT's nephew. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do the solid.
Keep it in the franchise. Let's see. Hold on. Michael Wilson felt like could be a Telesco pick.
I could see that.
Let's see. Is there any? No tackles.
No. Look at running back now.
Spears being there? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so
Roshan's a guy.
That doesn't necessarily. So I have to think like Telesco as opposed to
Because that would make Craig happy, so he's got to go in a different direction.
nah.
I don't think I like this game. It's the third round.
This is not a fun exercise.
Wait. The third round pick. We said it
Yeah,
earlier.
you got to blow it. It's a third round pick. He has to blow
It's
it.
Mafi.
Oh,
We
Mafi.
did?
Oh wow.
It's Mafi.
God.
They've been following him for 3 years.
Well,
He's on the board. It's Mafi.
But
It's gotta be.
doesn't third round pick have to be someone that nobody talks about at all? Like it's a name that has not come up whatsoever.
No. Remember last
Isn't
year,
third round
Woods,
pick the random pick?
everybody was higher on Woods than the media.
Yeah, that's true. In my mock, I had JT Woods as the 7th round pick for the Chargers. That reached the third. Oh man, oh that was funny.
It's Mafi.
Take the 5th or 6th rounder in the 3rd.
They do
I'm
it
telling
every
you
year.
now. I'm telling you now. If I'm on stream and they do something that nuts, I'm not saying anything. I'm just walking off. I'll be back at some point.
Jarrett Patterson is another guy who seems very Telesco-ish with all the accolades. The accolades. With all the accolades. All right, let's go with Mafi just for the fun of it. All right. Everybody having fun yet or what? Okay. Let's see. We haven't gone edge yet. Running back. Ooh, Deuce Vaughn seems like a guy, doesn't he? Deuce Vaughn feels like a Charger. Somebody they'd go after. Linebacker. Did we pick a linebacker already?
No, we didn't.
No.
No Sewell.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm in Telesco's head here.
Yeah.
Let's do this. This is exactly right. Right, Craig?
Go ahead, man.
Just do it. You're gonna do it. Do it right. Or wrong, or however the saying goes.
Oh, it's definitely wrong.
Okay, so now, all right. So we got our tight end, we got our wide receiver, we got our 5th round pick in the 3rd round, we got our Sewell in the 4th.
Darren Sproles 2.0.
Where is he? Is that Izzy?
My guy Deuce.
Deuce feels like it, man. Have we gone edge yet?
No.
No.
We got to replace one Fajoko with another, don't we?
Just not a spite.
I was gonna say Mike Morris because it's Michigan and it's Power 5, and I'm sure he was a multi-time captain and a locker room leader.
I'll find some way to justify that crap.
Riley Moss is gone. Okay. I felt like one. Okay, so
Hey, there's Parker Washington, one of the slowest and stiffest receivers in the draft. Maybe we can take him.
He's so physical, Jamie.
He
hey, what about
fights for the
Jalen
ball.
Moreno Cropper? Anybody heard of him? Okay, so then are we going Deuce here? Or are we going we're going in?
I still don't think they would go running back. I still don't think Telesco would go running back. So what did we pick so far?
Let's look at a defensive tackle.
Defensive tackle. We went tight end, wide receiver, interior offensive line, linebacker.
It's Broderick Martin. They've been linked to him. They've met with him. He's been getting a lot of buzz. It's him. That's what I think.
I'm okay
What
with
do you
that.
guys think?
Craig, do you have anything?
If they're linked to him,
Yeah. Deuce feels like a. Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's get through this. All right. Interior defensive line. We got.
Are we having fun yet, everybody? Do we like this game?
Nobody wants to play anymore. Okay, so running back, Keaton Mitchell's there. Travis
Kenny
Dye.
McIntosh, the man went to Georgia.
What else are we looking at? We haven't got an edge yet, did we?
I don't think so.
Ramirez.
Yeah.
Take your boy Ramirez.
Small school kid. Fundamentals.
Wasn't he a Senior Bowl guy too?
I think so,
I
yeah.
think he was.
All right, last one. Here we go. Stetson Bennett or no, I'm just kidding. Kidding. We got edge. What else?
Look
are
at
we missing?
look at quarterbacks real quick.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, they're all gone.
Max Duggan.
I was just gonna say Max Duggan.
Let's take him.
Take Duggan.
This is really starting to blend into the absolute worst case scenario. So, I mean, is the Telesco thing?
I just
one
want
and
to
the
let's
same?
just get Duggan. Oh, whoops! I'm just gonna do Duggan so we can get this over with. Unless you guys got something else. Is there?
No.
We did wide receiver. Did we do running back?
No, we glanced at it a few times.
Travis Dye. Corners.
I'm good with whatever.
We just want this over with now. Okay, I don't have much here. Oh, okay. All right, let's just go with an Ohio State corner because pedigree. So, who I didn't watch. All right, so we finished it out with Michael Mayer, Jonathan Mingo, Antonio Mafi in the third, Noah Sewell in the fourth, Broderick Martin in the fifth, Jose Ramirez, and Cameron Brown. PFF doesn't hate this draft. Well, it's C-. I guess it's not that bad, but okay. Well, this isn't great.
Definitely not that.
Did
Which
we
makes
just
it a Chargers draft.
Did we just kill all the excitement we had with the draft that we did? Because I was pretty excited about what we did. And now the excitement's gone. Because this is
need balance.
Did everybody leave?
everybody's gone.
Just,
Nobody's even left.
It's just us.
Ran everybody
just
off.
Three of us. They left in the third. All right. Cool. Anything else before we get out of here? We'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday.
Okay.
Hoping for better than this.
So we will. Oh, there we go. Now Fab's doing it. Here we go. This draft was an absolute nightmare. Craig, congrats, man. You had the line of the offseason in the very last one before draft. So we'll be here Thursday. Jamie and I will be on stream. Craig's going to pop in when he can. Daniel Stebbins will be there. Matthew Stanley, Michael Peterson, might have some other pop-ins as well outside of Craig. But we're going to be here all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Some of us will be here for all 3 days. Some of us won't, but we'll definitely be here for Thursday. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in and all the support. And don't forget, we got our draft guides. All three of us put all of our grades together. We got positional rankings. Everything's all done. We got it down on paper. Join the Patreon and get a look at all that. And that's it for me. We will see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Zay at 21, no matter what. Salute.